We're live at the Results Operations Center in Tshwane. This is where the IEC, at least for now, is going to be saying goodbye to the 2021 local government election cycle, at least officially through the closing ceremony that we're expecting to get underway at the top of 6 o'clock. Different officials and guests of the IEC already beginning to arrive for tonight's event, which will be chaired mainly by the President. He's the special guest of honor, and it will be a significant moment for the IEC. The sixth time that South Africans have gone to the polls in a local government election, and they can proudly say tonight that they have been able to pull off yet another credible election for South Africans. Ziyanda Ngcobo is on the floor of the Results Operations Center. Ziyanda, I'm assuming that you're already beginning to see some prominent individuals coming into this hallway tonight. Of course, all of the tables have been shoved aside for the purposes of the ceremony.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Kathy, the atmosphere here on the floor has completely changed. The tables have been moved, the chairs have been set, and as you'll see on stage behind me, this is where then the CEO, Saima Mabolo, the chairperson of the IEC, Glenn Mashinini, and as well as President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa will be taking their seats on stage to pronounce on the 2021 local government elections. What a journey, Kathy, it has been from the start of this process with former Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke, and then this matter going all the way to the Constitutional Court. And then who can forget the candidate list process and the shenanigans there. So finally it is done, Kathy. Whether or not the numbers were in your favor, this is what South Africans have declared. This is the voice of the South African electorate, and they have made their voices heard in these elections.
Of course, there'll continue to be mixed reactions from political parties, and undoubtedly those who have disputes will also be looking at tonight, not necessarily with a lot of hope in their hearts. But when we look across the board, by and large, there's been great support for the IEC from the various political parties when one looks at the statements that they have been issuing. And that really, in and of itself, speaks a lot about this moment and why the IEC can be proud.
Certainly an important moment especially getting that support from the political parties, given how much criticism, and one would even say the attacks that the IEC has sustained over a long period of time. I think ultimately, Kathy, political leaders understand the importance of protecting this Chapter 9 institution, protecting its integrity, and what it means for this country's democracy to not delegitimize then the work that is done by the IEC. Was it an easy task? Certainly not. Just over 40 days the IEC had to put this election together amidst a context of a COVID-19 pandemic and a very tight time frame that has never been seen before. Saima Mabolo saying yesterday, Kathy, that if any other electoral commission across the world were to be given the deadline that they have been given, he'd tell them to simply just not do it. But they have persevered, and we have now reached this moment, and I don't foresee, outside of perhaps the NFP, who of course have already indicated that they actually wanted to halt the announcement of the final results this evening. All political parties have thrown their weight behind the Electoral Commission and the results that will be announced tonight. And hopefully then the political parties that didn't do as well as they'd hoped will go back then to the drawing board, do a little bit of introspection and reflect on the message that the South African electorate delivered to them during this election.